if I had to choose one favorite feature that was added in CC 2018 update for Illustrator, it has to be the Puppet Warp transformation feature. This is something that we had in Photoshop, but now it's available here in Illustrator to apply it on our vector artwork. So let's say you created a character, but then your client asks you to make some tweaks to the posture, and maybe in this case we want this little Native American girl to shoot the arrow up in the sky and not to the side. So if we want to do that, now we can use this amazing new tool called the Puppet Warp tool, and you can see it's joined together with the Free Transform tool, and it doesn't actually have a shortcut. So if you want to do that, you can always assign it from the Edit menu keyboard shortcuts. But for now, I'm just going to select it, and notice that I already have a point here defined for this leg. I'm going to add another one on this side simply by just clicking on it, and then I'm going to add another one maybe on the head, somewhere like there. Now if I click and start moving that, we see already how the whole character is moving. It's almost like an animation, and it is a brilliant way to already start moving the character in the right direction. But if this is not enough, then what we can do is to click on this circle and start rotating. So we can even do that, and then of course refine the posture, and now she looks up to the sky. And if I want, I can also add another point on the arrow if I want to make it longer or not. And if I wanted to make any further changes, I could define additional points and I can start moving these around. But let's say we are happy with these changes, and I would like to now make some changes to the raccoon. So let's make sure that the little character also looks up in the sky. So I'm going to use again the Puppet Warp tool, and I like to define these points, make sure that the legs are solid, so they are staying in place. And then we can select the head and start turning this character as well in the right direction, and twist the head as well a bit. And we can maybe also start moving the tail around. So if I want, I can do that just as easily and set it up maybe in a slightly different angle, and maybe this point actually can also be rotated further, just something like that. So once again, let's have a look before and after. So this was the character before, and after a few changes, this is what we see. And the cool thing is that if you want to make further tweaks, you can just select the character and go back to the same setup with the Puppet Warp. So you can always find these points later on and keep moving them around. It's worth mentioning that in the Properties panel, you can turn on and off the Show Mesh option, and you can also expand the mesh if you need to. But by default, I would normally turn this off because it just helps me to see it better what I'm doing. And by the way, I also have in this document the Show Edges option disabled, so it's actually hidden. If I turn on Show Edges, you can see that we have more lines on the characters. It just, again, if I use hide edges, makes it easier to see what I'm doing, especially with complex illustrations. So in a nutshell, that is the Puppet Warp in Adobe Illustrator CC 2018, which offers a completely new way of interacting and transforming our vector artwork.